where contractors hiring independent contractors run into the problem most often with the issue of misclassification is where there's some unintended thing that occurs that causes someone to look at that relationship. So for example, you have an independent contractor that works for you, it's December, there hasn't been a lot of work, the January rent is coming due, they don't have a lot of money, they don't know what they're going to do, they feel a little desperate, they're going to go down and see if there's any chance they might, even though they're independent contractors, or any chance they might qualify for some unemployment money. The idea of that the connection to them that unemployment money comes from a prior employer isn't there. They're not going there necessarily to make life difficult for you. They're just looking for a way to pay the rent. And when they go, the state wants them to have money, wants them to be able to pay the rent, but they don't want to be responsible for providing them with any kind of assistance. So they want to call them an employee, and they want to find a way to not have that independent contractor relationship exist so that you can become the employer, they're the employee, now they qualify for unemployment, and you're going to provide them with the money they need to pay their rent in January. The other is when one of your independent guys gets injured on a job, and they show up in the emergency room and they're asked, who do you work for? And they don't necessarily understand the distinction between who do you work for being I'm self-employed or who do you work for, well, I'm over there working, for your company doing a project. And so they mention you. All the hospital is concerned about is that someone is going to pay that bill down the road, so they make sure that they pen that in. And then the question now about whether that person is responsible for their own bills or whether that person is an employee of yours covered under your work comp policy, so that your work comp policy plays the medical bills comes into play. And now you start unraveling again this whole question of whether this person's an employee or an independent contractor.